All right, I'm finally gonna do it. I'm finally gonna review Professor Barnets. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's long overdue video, I am so excited. I can't express my excitement because today I'm reviewing the Indonesian maker that has eluded me for many years. You see, I have been a huge fan of Renav Goods, Fortis Boots, Tahura Boots, as well as other Indonesian makers like Unmarked, Santalum, which I think is now defunct, but I've had a lot of great success with a lot of the Indonesian bootmakers. For a quick recap, they learned their bootmaking skills from the Dutch colonists that came there and showed them their way of basically making handcrafted, hand-lasted, bespoke-made boots. And the Indonesians took that trade and they turned it into a bit of a cottage industry. It has blossomed, thanks to Instagram, into just a phenomenal industry today where you can custom make your boots. You specify the leather, the build, the model, the design. You do it all. You give them your exact measurements. What you get is a truly custom fit to your specifications, but also incredibly affordable. It is the unicorn market of the boot world. This is my assessment after looking at it for probably around 5 years now. Indonesia, it's a low cost of living, and for that reason, the bootmakers don't have to charge, Viberg prices for their boots. They can oftentimes charge pretty low prices in comparison to the cost that it would warrant in, say, America or Canada or other places like that. So that said, I support both markets, but I want to talk about Professor Barnets today, and Professor Barnets alone. So I've long stalked them on their Instagram and have always been a fan of their work. They never miss. I've never seen them make a bad pair of boots, and their customers seem always very happy, and I have felt very guilty for not ordering a pair from them, but now I have, and now this is happening. So first and foremost, the box, beautiful. blue. It's got like a nice metallic glow to it. Gold embossed branding on there. Gentleman Footwear, established 2013. Professor Barnets. And I really like the texture of the box as well. So let's crack her open, see what's on the inside. The other thing I really like about this, these shoes are made by hand, crafted manually. We make it with great pride. Then, friend, you put it on and walk with pride. I love that. I love the messaging, like the profound sort of messaging that they incorporate into their branding. You know, these are small shops. It's amazing how much consideration and customization and personalization they put into every last little detail. We're not talking about fast fashion or mass manufacturing. We're talking about handmade, small batch everything. They also threw in a pair of pretty gnarly looking socks in there for me. So thank you guys at Professor Barnets. That was very nice. You did not have to do that. That was a gift. I didn't ask for those. All right, so each boot comes with its own boot bag, Professor Barnets branded boot bag. And without further ado, I have not worn these. Full disclosure, I'm in Maryland. It's November. I wake up and it's dark. I leave work and it's dark. So I'm not going to be able to get good unworn shots of these outside. I'm going to get them instead in this very workshop after I finish filming this review. And then I'm taking these on a trip where there is sunlight, and then you're going to see them in all their glory. All right, so without further ado, wow, look at these. So I have recently got the itch for lace to toes, specifically Indonesian made lace to toes. They're the only ones that make lace to toes that really look like this. Nobody else is really doing anything like this, at least to my knowledge. I've got brown oiled shinky lace to toes from Renav Goods. I've got mushroom chamois. I've got some Willys Filipino made lace to toes in a Walpier Grigio leather. And I have some other lace to toes, but it has always haunted my dreams that I have all these boots. And the one thing I don't have is a nice saddle tan, glowing tan lace to toe. It seriously has bothered me for years, in fact. And every time I see them on Instagram, I'm so jealous. I'm like, dude, all these guys getting these amazing saddle tan BADALASSI colored lace to toes rolling in, and I'm missing out. For reference, these are just examples. These are my Grant Stone diesel boots in saddle tan BADALASSI leather. These are my Trickers in, I forget the color, it's a calfskin though. It's a similar colorway, vegetable tanned, beautiful tan. I've got the Grant Stone field boot in saddle tan BADALASSI. Absolutely love these things. Took these with me to Hawaii and put them through the paces. Or wait, no, I didn't. I took my bison ones. Yeah, correction. I took my bison ones to Hawaii and kicked the living crap out of them. And I still see the volcanic dust in there. I've got my Alden plain toe Bluchers in this tan pebble green. I forget the name. I did a video on them though years ago. Very last though. Very good last. And anyways, those are just some examples. You know, the lace to toe to me has just been one of the most enigmatic boots. Not only because of the, or actually it is, it's only because of the design, the panel placements, the way it works. I mean, they've always captivated me, mystified me in the same vein, because it's like, wait, how do you cut these panels just right to where they come together but not overlap? And how do you put all these crazy overlapping, like this panel is not only intersecting with the quarter, but it runs into the toe. And then right here, this has a lineman's patch. This is my first boot with a lineman's patch. Also very mysterious. It's all Greek to me. Like, it's all crazy complex to me when I look at it. This back heel stay intersects with the front quarter panel, which normally, like something like these jackrabbits, I look at it and I understand it. Back heel stay. It stops right here. And then here's the center quarter panel. It just kind of starts and stops right here. Here's the cap toe. Starts and stops right here. Here's the quarter. Starts and stops. Back heel strip. Everywhere it starts and stops, and I understand it. But with the lace to toe, it just, I look at it and I get confused. Like the quarter panel, it's underneath the back heel stay. The back heel stay intersects with the the vamp, which is also sort of part of the quarter, and then you have this lineman's patch here, and it's just so busy and so cool at the same time. But when you nail your size, it's like, to me, when you have a boot that is really iconic looking and it's in your right size, it kind of communicates to the world like, hey, I got my shit together. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I see these boots. It's like by the time you get to the level to where you appreciate the leather as well as the build, and you get your size right, and you made tasteful choices for the sole, the outsole, the edge dressing, the welt stitching, the colors, the storm welt. By the time you've done all that, then by that point you're sort of like the omni gentleman, and you have surpassed your peers in taste. And that to me is what the laced toe is all about. I hope this makes sense. I hope all my ramblings make sense, but I really, really, really love laced toes. I hope I'm communicating this. So, all right, before I really delve into the build, I want to talk about how this video came together. So, bottom line up front, I've been stalking Professor Barnets for years, and I didn't know this. They've been stalking me as well. And so they reached out. They said, "Hello, sir. I'm an Indonesian bootmaker who follows your boot content. You are a boot reviewer who is very objective in explaining boots and quality products. Your content is very inspiring to me and knowledgeable as well. I am a small, handcrafted shop trying to represent the Indonesian bootmaking industry. If you would consider ordering some boots, it would be my honor." And so I'm paraphrasing, but I said, "I've been wanting to review your brand for a long time. Thank you for reaching out." And so he gave me a list of his models. I told him I love laced toes, as I just explained. These laced toes are called the Jimmy Jumpers, and I selected Cognac BADALASSI. So these boots go for only, this is going to blow your mind, $450. Just more expensive than a Red Wing Iron Ranger. Think about that. These, if you had these made in Japan, $1,500 to $2,000. If these were made in Canada, same thing, $1,500 to $2,000. If they're made in America, I'm going to call it $1,800. That's what these would cost. Instead, $450 if you're a 41 to 43 EU size, and if you're a 44 to 45, the cost goes up $15 to $465. That's crazy. And so I said, of course, like, let's make it happen. I want to make this project happen. BADALASSI Cognac, let's do it. He asked me if I have my foot measurements. I have those saved. I gave him my address. He started texting me pictures and videos of him making the boots. It's just clear that the hand welting that they do takes real muscle and skill and patience to do. Each hole is done by hand. And yeah, like I said, he sent me videos of the whole process, so I'm going to include those in this, overlay them, because yeah, they really went out of their way, and I really feel bad that they only charge $450 for these, because the materials alone for the boots have to be around. I mean, so the BADALASSI leather, the Cognac, I order it myself. To give an example, for like a half side, it's like $200. And so that's what they would have needed, a half side at least. $200 for the leather. The veg tan insoles, the Dr. Sole outsoles, I'm going to go ahead and say that there's $300 at least worth of materials in this. And then they're only charging $450. The shipping itself is $70. Like, I don't even know if they're making money charging the prices that they charge. I've sort of whispered, I hope you guys don't hate me for this. I've sort of whispered to some Indonesian makers, it's like, increase your prices by 10%, 20%. You can ask that. You know what I mean? I'd pay $700 for these. In fact, I'd pay $800 for these. And if I really, really wanted them, I'd pay $1,000 for these. So $450 for these, I mean, I feel bad. I kind of feel like I'm taking advantage. So I hope I'm not. You guys at Professor Barnets, if you need more, let me know, because I'll shoot you more, because this has to take a lot of time to make. It's like, at the end of the day, what are you making? $5 an hour? I really hope you're doing better than that, because you're worth so much more than that. Anyways, they posted these boots, and they said, what I cherish most as a shoemaker is crossing paths with people who carry the same fire within. In those lively conversations, sparks of inspiration rise slowly, shaping themselves into creations that finally become shoes to be worn, felt, and truly lived in. Huge thanks to Dale of Dale's Leatherworks. that you have been patiently awaiting this pair of handcrafted boots. So we have the Jimmy Jumper Boy boots. The model is a logger boot. The height is 10 inches. The upper is Cognac BADALASSI. Construction is split storm welt construction, 270 degrees, double hand row stitched white and olive color. The outsole is a Dr. Sole half sole cork brown. The heels are woodman shaped. The edges are natural edge trim. And what a masterpiece. All right. So now that I've read the description, let me give sort of my interpretation. We have a double stacked midsole here. So that's going to break in pretty nice compared to my Renav goods that are triple stacked, which are in fact very, very, very comfortable, even though they don't really bend at the midfoot. These are going to bend just fine at the midfoot. So we have a triple stacked veg tan heel, as well as a Dr. Sole original brown heel cap. We also have a Dr. Sole original brown super grip outsole, half sole here. The Cognac BADALASSI is incredible. Of course, amazing waxy pull-up. Waxy pull-up, not to be confused with oily pull-up. All right, they're two completely different things. And if you just say pull-up and you don't specify whether it's oil or waxy, then you're only deceiving yourself, right? Because waxy pull-up entirely different than oily pull-up. And little kids in Indonesia grow up knowing this, by the way. So all waxy pull-up means is there's predominantly more waxes on the surface of the leather. So as you stress the leather, you see the wax breaking apart, and then it reforms. Oily pull-up is more like a brown Chrome XL, whose pull-up just appears a little bit more oily when you stress it out. So yes, BADALASSI, one of my favorite Italian tanneries. What's really cool as a kiltie maker myself, they included a kiltie in here, which I'm absolutely going to rock. The kiltie it's got a bunch of cool perforations in it. We've got antique brass eyelets all the way up, size 42. That is my size. Now I have not worn these, so expect me to throw in a voice edited segment about how they fit. I've been doing this so long, I could already tell you by eyeing it, I could tell they fit. They're perfect. I sent them my foot measurements. They put EU 42. I've never worn an EU 42/8.5 US size that did not fit me perfectly. And just looking at these, yes, to compare, these are my Fortis, also in a size 42, perfect fit Fortis boots. Two amazing Indonesian makers coming together. Look at that. The heel to the toe, identical. Obviously the Fortis, a little bit less volume in that toe box. The Professor Barnets, nice bulbous toe here. All right, so we have 8 round eyelets, 4 speed hooks, and a round eyelet at the top. Crazy. And then it came with this little tag, premium quality product, walk with pride, Professor Barnets, since 2013. On the tongue, embossed, is their brand, Professor Barnets. Now, I do want to give a shout out to my buddy JD at 1Damn8 Envision, who I met in person at the Stitch Down boot camp this year. He has anonymity concerns. He doesn't really want his face out there, but he's a super cool guy. He's been buying Professor Barnets for years now. He's been patronizing and doing a good job. He's really an American diplomat, working with all the Indonesian makers and making sure that they all feel represented. I really give him credit for what he's been able to do with them, because he's really helped them out, I think, over the years. All of them. I'm the type, I find one that kind of works for me and nails my sizing, and then I kind of stick with them. And I love all those guys, though. You know what I mean? I want them all to succeed, and I don't want to like start causing like feuds between them. And I genuinely want all bootmakers to do well. It's the same with YouTube, right? When there's other makers and other content producers, and there's other, you feel like you're in competition, and I never ever. That makes me feel very uncomfortable. I like to think that we all have a place here, and we all, there's like this idea that we all have to be the best at what we do, and that's kind of a cowardly way to look at things. It's like, oh yeah, once you're the best, then you don't have any more competition. It's like, wait, do you want to wake up tomorrow with no competition? What's the fun in that? Let there be competition. Let there be somebody out there that does it better than you, because you will then have something to strive for. I, for one, love the fact that, there are cars out there worth several $1 million. It's like, all right, so, I have stuff to aspire for. I'm kind of a watch geek. There's some watches out there that start at 100,000, 250,000, 2 million, 3 million. It's like, cool. I love the fact that those exist. I'm never going to own one, but I like the idea of the potential that maybe by some stroke of luck, super successful, I can maybe one day own one. But I know that's not going to happen. But it's cool to know that there's always something better out there. You know what I mean? And so that's why I look at all the Indonesian makers, and I hope they're all doing good, because they're all phenomenal, frankly. And they work their asses off. They work really hard. What they produce are just phenomenal products. I mean, look at this masterpiece. I'm going to feel bad wearing these, but I'm going to wear these on my upcoming trip, and I'm going to get the best possible footage of them and overlay as much of that over this video as I possibly can. He did a really good job on the edge dressing. He really polished it up. The welting work is hand done. We've got green and white welting. It's so beautiful against this bright orangey tan BADALASSI. The kiltie is really cool. I've also sold kilties in the same color. He hand cut his and did a wonderful job, so I'm going to keep these kilties in here. I'm going to wear them with pride. The tongue is double layered, double stitched. Let's see, it's partially gusseted. I'm going to say about halfway up. There's a nice branded Professor Barnet's heel seat down there. Yeah, nicely rounded out woodsman heel. We have a pull tab, amazing stitching on the back, very decorative diamond pattern stitching on the back heel stay. And all in all, with that lineman's patch, I mean, I'm so happy with the lineman's patch. That's my first one. My first Professor Barnet's and my first lineman's patch. And they also threw in some extra olive round waxed cotton laces for me. So we have a roll top collar at the throat, lined with what I assume to be a calfskin lining. Whatever it is, it's beautiful. Glove leather lining, beautiful. Yeah, it feels like it's all lined throughout the vamp too. Wow. The toe is structured, very firmly structured. So is the back heel stay. There's like a nice emerald green stitching on the upper, all along the borders of the panels. They're triple stitched, but they're very closely stitched together so that it's discreet. Wow. I'm really blown away by these details here. Then yeah, that BADALASSI is just filled with amazing character. It looks really great where it's stretched out on the toe, but then in like the quarter panel where it's not stretched out and stressed, you can see like sort of its full character on display. So yeah, I'm gonna wear these faithfully. I'm gonna do update videos. Little announcement on my channel. I'm gonna start getting back to my roots. Over the years, I've had a lot of brands reach out to me, and I've covered a lot of brands. And you know, what does that do? It starts to take away from the trajectory that I want to take my channel in. I want to focus on the stuff that I have and the stuff that I love. So I love stuff, of course, but I'm gonna start to get back to my roots, to when I had like a rotation of probably 30 pairs of boots. I was rotating in and out of those, and I was having observations of things, you know, individual pairs. So I want to get back to that. What I want for this channel is 5 years from now, I want to have re-reviewed many boots I've already reviewed after having worn them seriously hard. And so what I envision for my channel is by 2030, I hope I have another review on these and they are beat to crap and look way better than they do brand new, well worn, well tested, and I could give a faithful attestation to how these have performed. Part of buying boots is knowing that you're going to wear them and you can rely on them, right? And the problem with having a lot of boots is not being able to really rely on them the way you need, because you rotate in and out so often. So I really want to devote more time to wearing my tried and trusted boots that I've acquired over the years. I want to slow down. It's not to say I'm not going to continue to accumulate some. I'm going to start to slow down. I'm going to start to enjoy what I have. That's my goal. Might offload some, but I have a lot of gems in my collection and I really want to relish those. And these are one of those gems. Look forward to that review here in a few years, because well, that's what real research requires, is years. Anyways, go give Professor Barnet's a follow on Instagram. You can hit them up on Instagram. You can hit them up on WhatsApp. Peruse their selection. They have done it all. Engineers, lace to toes, of course. Service boots, perforated cap toe service boots. Beautiful. Two-tone engineers. I mean, the sky is the limit rough outs. Ugh, just amazing builds. And beyond that, I like the energy, I like the enthusiasm, I like the creativity. I really like these tanker boots. Gustav Boots article, bulky square toe shape. Oh, by Wickett and Craig. So go give Professor Barnets a follow. Check out their work. Conjure up some ideas for some builds you might like. They will be more than happy to make them for you, and they'll do it very affordably. My recommendation, tip them extra, because $450 for these, I don't feel like I paid enough, frankly. I could have paid double and still felt great about it. That's just my opinion. So anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys. I want to hear all your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you have any Professor Barnets? Do you have any Indonesian? Share your experiences. I want to hear it all. So anyways, with that, I'll shut it down. Thanks so much for watching. End of transmission.